Hello, I'm Zai. Welcome back to Tokyo Necro. I literally just came back after like a minute of taking a break to go to the restroom. Just like you guys, I don't really like cliffhangers. And after that last scene, there's no way I'm not gonna play this game again. But yeah, short recap. Last time, Kiriri found out that she and... Or not Kiriri. Etika found out that she and Kiriri are actually biological... sisters? Half-sisters. I assume that Etika and... not Etika, sorry. Kiriri is Aso Yukari's daughter with someone else, while... You know, Etika is Aso Yukari's daughter with Hokoyasu. Huh. Who did she fuck then? Like, who's actually Kiriri's dad? We still don't know. That's actually something quite interesting. And then, Kiriri is being hunted down right now in the military police HQ. Someone is trying to kill her. Etika actually, after being depressed for the past couple of episodes, actually being able to get back up again. But yeah, I guess I can understand the fact that she got depressed by not being picked by Kiriri and all that. But then again, I don't know. I've never really experienced love all that much. Like, I've liked someone, I've tried to get close with someone before, but after I got rejected, I bounced back pretty easily, you know? So, I wouldn't really call that love, more like physical attraction. So, I don't really understand Etika's feelings all too much. But yeah, right now we're in Soen's perspective, and this sad music, I feel like Soen's gonna die soon. Aso Kiriri was shaking while Captain Nagisa tied her up in the corner of the dispensary. After that, I followed my orders and took her to Major General Kabanohara's office.
Gokuro.
Aso Kiriri is no longer showing any signs of resistance. She's wearing a pair of stun cuffs and even a blackout color, making it virtually impossible for her to do so. Yet even without her restraints, she doesn't look like she has any willpower left to resist.
Kinsetsu Jujutsuの敵はネクロマンシーだ。米中戦争で我々はネクロマンサーの持つ技術を徹底的に研究した。その結果、どれだけ注意深くハイファイ化を施したとしても2週間で感情が劣化することが発見された。感情が劣化するとリビングデッドの能力は低下する。それも大幅に。
それで何？
私は君を見込んでいる。正しい東京を実現するために私の罪を共に背負ってくれることを期待している。どうだ、阿蘇キリリ。
This guy is crazy.
阿蘇ゆかりに代わって君が私の罪を共有するつもりはないか。
Kiriri looks at Major General Kabanohara with a scowl that could kill. I may have lost most of my emotions, but even I can tell how furious she is right now. A long, heavy silence endures. The first to break it is Captain Nagisa, standing guard nearby.
ああ、わかっている。
Being master and servant, the Major General and Captain Nagisa are connected by an invisible thread, which allows them to communicate without the need for words. The Major General brings up a hollow screen with a multi-flick. It shows an image of a strider belonging to the Karasuzumi living at Stalker Agency. It's heading straight toward the military police HQ. Ignoring a security robot's warnings to stop, it crashes through a checkpoint without so much as slowing down. An alarm is triggered, activating a contingent of grey chameleons stationed nearby. They each fire a volley of bullets from their MK-48 cannons. The Karasuzumi Strider returns fire with its own 30mm quad-mount autocannon. Muzzle flashes illuminate the screen while the speakers roar with the sound of gunfire. Even as the Grey Chameleons block its path and fill it with bullets, the Strider continues its advance, attempting to break through to the military police building by making clever use of its extendable legs. Despite its best efforts though, the Strider is severely outnumbered. It ends up getting toppled over just before reaching the entrance. Sparks fly forth from the Strider's legs while its caterpillar track, unable to touch the ground, spins helplessly in the air. The Grey Chameleons take aim and open fire. An explosion follows, blotting out the screen with white smoke. Actually, it's not just a simple explosion. Mixed in with the fire and smoke is something brought about by the Grey Chameleons themselves. Something the Strider had planned for in advance. But even that soon becomes difficult to make out. Many of the hot pipes in the area were damaged in the firefight and are leaking steam onto the streets, blocking visibility. Major General Kibanohara says, nodding to himself. On his screen, he sees a large number of stolen vehicles gathering together. Downtown Tokyo is replete with stolen vehicles whose ROSs have been hacked. As they do not receive maintenance, their internal systems are largely out of date, with various security holes still intact. It would only take one talented hacker and a virus to have them all infected and exploited as obedient drones. The possibility for something like that to happen had always been there. And right now, it has become a reality. Like a group of loyal zombies, the stolen vehicles followed instructions of their master and speed toward the military police HQ. There's well over 100 of them in total, making it virtually impossible to tell which one is occupied by Ethica and her allies. Captain Nagisa springs into action without even needing an orally voiced command from the Major General.
どれに乗っているのかがわからなければ、すべて叩き潰せばいい。
Kiriri's shout is aimed not at Captain Nagisa, but the one who gave her the order for the attack, the Major General.
ああ、そうだ。その血が憎悪を募らせる。
You mean your detestable blood?
産まなければよかった。
A loud crash can be heard from the speakers next to Major Aso. The image displayed via the hologram shows a horrific scene. Stolen cars are launching suicide attacks at the building from all directions, charging headlong into a hailstorm of bullets. Man, it must suck for Ethica, you know, because she's actually a child that's not wanted. I mean, it's not really uncommon in the world. I feel like I myself am also an unwanted child, considering the difference between the ages of my siblings. The frame of a civilian vehicle is no match for the cannons of the Grey Chameleons. The speeding cars attempt to use the hot pipes as a shield in order to delay the inevitable. A sonic wall of gunfire, explosions, and hissing steam bears down upon us. Thick, billowing smoke envelops the screen as the stolen vehicles rush toward their doom. As the on-screen destruction unfolds, Major Aso levels another question at the Major General.
どうしてなの？あなたは多くの罪なき軍警察の人間を殺したように、木場野原エチカをいつでも殺すことができた。殺さなかったのは彼女を愛していたからじゃないの？
Maybe.
利用価値があったからだ。
だって母さんは言ったわ。木場野原少将は優しい人だって。
その反りあゆかを私は撃った。
A massive explosion rings out in the distance. As countless cars crash into each other, a series of gunshots ring out from beyond a veil of rising smoke. Someone's returning fire. In response, every strider and security robot in the area begins to lay down concentrated fire at the same time. The remotely coordinated shots tear through the smokescreen with terrifying efficiency. The ensuing deluge of bullets leaves no chance for survival.
私はもう元に戻れない。
Major General Kabanohara aims a real eliminator at Major Aso's head.
これで終わり。
Kibanohara Shosho.
My X-brain displays a suggestion. My subconscious has singled out the relevant fragments from the vast archive of image data available to it. The soul link tethering me to my master is strong. My intentions are wordlessly communicated to Major General Kabanohara.
X ブレインが見つけたのか。
What is that?
はい。
The Major General silently lowers his re-eliminator. His expression, often described as an unflinching mask of steel, displays a faint hint of emotion. Obeying his command, I draw closer to my master. He gently runs a hand over my X-Brain helmet. His eyes narrow. He's gonna kill you, isn't he? He's looking at me. But I'm not the one he sees.
ならば語ろう。私が優しさを失った理由。木場の原エチカが私の罪である理由を。
What the hell? What, did the X-Brain tell him to, you know, explain the situation so that Major Aso or Kiriri would understand his feelings or some shit? Stolen cars rush onto the battlefield one after another. Mitsumin, Olga, and myself are watching it all unfold from atop a pipe runner. The one controlling the cars is Sue. In fact, this entire plan was her brainchild. Every single one of these cars is actually just a decoy. According to Sue, a hacker must never fully reveal her hand until it's absolutely necessary. Not even we knew that she had her own personal army of exploited vehicles. In order for us to bypass the heavy fortifications of the building and sneak in, we needed some way to distract them. And it looks like we've accomplished just that. The one engaging the Striders and security bots in the smoke is a hi-fi living dead under Olga's command. I was almost gonna say that name. Thanks to a nanoshaft smokescreen, the enemy probably hasn't been able to determine what exactly they're firing at just yet. Shaft embedded with nanomachines. Each piece of nanoshaft contains a microscopic motor, allowing them to move freely to block lasers while emitting a strong magnetic force. While the military police's attention is focused on our decoys, we make it all the way to their headquarters using a pipe runner, model number MF399. I'd love to go all the way to the top like this, but the bastard surveillance system is rock solid. Enough moping around, Etika. I flashed Sue a reassuring grin before climbing off the pipe runner. The military police HQ blocks transmissions to the outside. We're going it alone. We're going it alone from here. I bust out my custom AA-24. Mitsumin readies her Soshimaru. Olga smiles with her karambit knife in hand. 3 hot chicks storming the bad guy's stronghold to save some innocent hostages. Man, just thinking about it is getting me all fired up. The first floor is an entrance hall with an open ceiling. The old man's probably in his office at the top. In other words, floor 50. Since we don't know for sure where Kiri is, it makes the most sense to start there. The only question is how we'll reach that floor. Oh, this is that guy from Odaiba. Well, it sure didn't take long for a guard to notice this. What now? Before I can finish that thought, the crimson radiance of Mitsumin Shoshimaru slices through the air. and decapitates the heavily built man with one swift strike. Blood sprays all over the walls. It's dusky red in color, meaning this guy was a living dead.
さすがにそこまで手間かけてる暇はなかったのね。
With a little extra effort, the blood circulating inside a living dead can be dyed red. It's not that hard to do. The fact they didn't can only mean they needed to create a large number of living dead in a short period of time.
動きだ。武器を捨てろ。
黙ってろゾンビ野郎
My ex-brain would probably not authorize me to open fire here. Good thing I don't give a shit. I start unloading my shotgun on the bastards. Bang, bang, bang. Their heads pop open like ripe melons, painting the floor dusky red. We're only just getting started though. Things are about to get real frisky in here. Necromancers are in complete sync with their undead creations. If a ghoul senses something, so will the master. They can also control them like puppets. Meaning, once they've become aware of your presence, there's little point in hiding.
おらららららららら
A number of living dead pop their heads out from behind cover and start firing at us from the second floor. When I see their heads, I squash them like I was playing zombie whack-a-mole.
よっ
A number of officers outside take notice of the disturbance in the building and come rushing in, only to be met by Mitsumin and Olga. Damn, we actually make a surprisingly good team. I mean, I already knew Mitsumin was one hell of a fighter, but Olga's holding her own pretty well too. Her karambit lights up bright red, cutting through the hordes of the undead like a little hot knife through butter. In contrast with Mitsumin's firm and uncompromising style, Olga flows across the battlefield like a mollusk through seawater, making sport of her undead assailants with graceful ease. Military police officers go down one after the other, but there's simply no end to them. We'll have to get through the open escalator before we can reach the low-level elevators that'll take us up to the 32nd floor. If we rush in there without a plan though, we'll be Swiss cheese in no time. Granted, most of the officers we're up against only carry standard issue military police handguns, meaning they shouldn't be able to take us out that easily. But if we so much as slow down, they'll easily overwhelm us through sheer numbers.
大丈夫。そろそろ来るから。
あそろそろ
Did you resurrect Tokitaka? The moment Olga utters that, something blasts through the entrance. Its arrival is accompanied by a serenade of gunshots. However, they all come from one person, or rather, one creature. Are you Tokitaka? I mean, there's no way you are since you're not really a sniper right now. Its outward appearance might make it seem like a machine, but it's actually a hi-fi living dead under Olga's control. There's a different weapon in each of its 8 hands. You're supposed to be a Sura or something? And it doesn't hesitate to unleash a barrage of bullets from them. The attention of the military police officers is immediately shifted toward the creature. Man, actually having a hi-fi in our ranks definitely makes a difference. Wasting no time, Mitsumin takes the lead. She dashes up the narrowest escalator and reaches the top in one swift go. Then proceeds to decapitate the distracted living dead officers one by one.
さすがね。
With movements as light as a feather, Olga hops up to the second floor, grinning all the way. For some perspective, she's willingly thrown herself into a battle where a hi-fi is letting bullets loose from 8 different guns. It'd be unthinkable under any other circumstances. Thankfully, Olga happens to be the master of the hi-fi in question. Her movements are in complete sync with the creatures, giving off the impression that the bullets themselves are evading her. Damn, I can't let her just steal the show like that. I leap onto the escalator myself. Several living dead come after me, but I re-eliminate them with blasts from my shotgun, using the handrails as cover. The 8-armed freak down there will no doubt take care of the rest. Meanwhile, the belt steadily carries me up to the second floor. I'm standing in a little heap of corpses. Mitsumin shakes the blood off her sword with a firm swing.
遅いじゃない。
The smell of seared flesh and blood follows Olga like a shadow. Her thermal karambit has been busy. The military police officers stationed on the second floor have all but been wiped out.
わ
悪かったな。
After making my way past the corpses lying on the floor, I head deeper into the building. Well, that was pretty easy. So far, anyway. Do they not have any hi-fis of their own? The hallway housing the elevators that'll take us to the floor 32 is shrouded in gloom. The ceiling seems like it's miles above. Well, I guess Zone is a hi-fi. But you know, like modified hi-fis, I mean. I press the call button and start reloading my shotgun's drum magazine while waiting for the elevator to arrive. I can still hear the echoes of the ongoing battle from downstairs. That hi-fi sure puts up one hell of a fight.
ねえロールシャッハー、あんたなんであんなやつ作ったの？知り合いの趣味よ。知り合い？仏像にインスピレーションを得たんだって。
Yeah, the Asura, right? Like I said.
マジかよ。
無駄口はそこまでだ。
An elevator has arrived, as signaled by a chime. The person who steps out of it is someone I know all too well. Nagaoka Sone's twin re-eliminators spew fire and bullets. But Mitsumin's reaction comes fast as lightning. She kicks off the wall and leaps into the air to evade Sone's shots, only to come swooping down on him a second later with her trusty Soshimaru in hand. I'm not letting her hawk the spotlight though. Bullets whiz past me, but none land a hit. I press onward without hesitation and thrust the bayonet of my gun at Sone. He blocks both of our blades at the same time, one with each re-eliminator. I'd almost want to applaud his skills if we weren't fighting to the death. Our deadlock is soon broken. Mitsumin then goes on the offensive. She launches a powerful swing, which Sone gracefully evades with a cartwheel. The blade misses him, leaving only a gust of wind to graze his shoulder. The moment Sone lands, he retaliates with his muscle spikes. You dumbass! How dare you do that to Mitsumin? And stop hopping around like a goddamn Easter bunny. The next brain suggestions become more precise, more reliable the more data has been accumulated on one's target. Which means, he knows exactly how to deal with me. I freeze up, but just before Sone can get me, the decapitated head of a living dead comes flying toward us. It was thrown by Olga. Making use of Sone's momentary distraction, she silently glides closer and latches onto him. Before finally sinking her thermal karambit into his chest. Use it on his head, damn you! Why the fuck would you do it on the chest? The blade sears his flesh with a loud hiss. It'd be a mortal wound for any living person, but Nagaoka Sone is already dead. You gotta aim for the head under that X-Brain helmet of his, or his neck which connects it to his torso. Sone, of course, knows exactly what we're planning. I grip Rabbit Punch and dash toward him. Wielding her Soshimaru, Mitsumin follows suit. Hunted by 3 separate blades, Sone leaps into the air to escape, and discharges a hail of bullets that come raining down upon us in a wild trajectory. Wide. Unfazed, we chase after him. I kick myself off the wall and meet his muzzle spikes head-on before launching a counterattack of my own. Repeating one wall jump after another, we keep on clashing at unbelievable heights. Raw force meets raw force in midair, trajectories shifting second by second. The combat situation is in a state of constant flux. I assume there's supposed to be an is there. My artificial muscles and drug-enhanced body are close to buckling under the overwhelming pressure. When it comes to predicting your opponent's next move, Sone's X-Brain has a clear advantage over us. The more time passes, the more information it gathers on its opponents, allowing it to learn and adapt. As our clashes grow in intensity, so does his advantage. Being a living dead, Sone isn't hindered by fatigue or exhaustion. In the end, Both Olga and I get viciously slammed into the ground.
行け
Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. Gripping the hilt of Soshimaru, Mitsumi steps forward to shield us. Behind us is the open elevator. In fact, Olga's already taken cover inside.
エチカ
My true opponent is Kibanohara Hokuyasu. He's the one I'm here for. Hell, if I had my X-Brain on, it'd probably tell me to keep going. But I can't just leave Mitsumi to fight Son on her own.
頼む
I see. She's got a score to settle with him, and this is her one chance. Alright. I throw myself into the open elevator. I'm counting on you to come out of this alive, Mitsumi, even if it kills you. I still have no idea why the hell Mitsumi is so, like, transfixed with Son. You don't really see much of her in the other route that I did. The doors of the elevator close. My orders are to kill Kibanohara Ethica. But there's someone else getting in the way of that objective. The battle begins in a flash. Evade, deflect, parry. My body mechanically follows the X-Brain suggestions. Soshimaru, Mitsumi's ultrasonic vibroblade, tears through everything it touches. I'll need to avoid taking direct hits as much as realistically possible. Mitsumi's blade moves considerably faster than I had anticipated. My X-Brain suggestions are having a hard time keeping up. For a moment, it seems almost like I'm about to get re-eliminated. But I managed to dodge out of the way by a hair's breadth. I begin to wonder why that is. But the fierce battle leaves me no time to think. Our fight is a constant ebb and flow of offense and defense. Meanwhile, the gunfight raging on the lower floors has grown increasingly more violent. The 8-armed Hi-Fi has been holding its ground quite fiercely, successfully pushing back the military police personnel that engaged it. Having grown impatient, Major General Kibanohara appears to have gone so far as to send grey chameleons into the building. An ear-splitting explosion of unprecedented power resounds across the atrium. Stray bullets shatter the windows while the monument in the middle of the hall collapses from the sheer force of the ensuing shockwave. There's only one way left for me to emerge victorious in this battle. Following my X-Brain's instructions, I activate my MPP and leap down into the lower floor through the open ceiling. Can't believe you're still using your fucking MPP when you're a zombie, Son. Chasing after me, Mitsumi descends as well. We stare each other down in silence for a good moment. She stands in front of the Hi-Fi Living Dead. Meanwhile, the grey chameleons are behind me. We seem to have dropped down right into the middle of their battle. The threat of re-elimination hangs over me like a cloud. Placing my trust in my X-Brain, I open a fire at Mitsumi. That 8-armed Living Dead is another foe to consider, but my main target is her. Similarly, the grey chameleons behind me ignore the swift-moving Mitsumi and instead proceed to re-engage the Hi-Fi. Mitsumi and I clash against each other in a battle where death is only a breath away. My re-eliminators meet the crimson flash over Soshimaru in a fast-paced crescendo of blows and bullets. I'm a blade, a bullet, an instrument used to kill. A machine converting the X-Brain's input into output. You really like that saying, don't you, Son? The battle appears to shift in my favor. Mitsumi's overwhelming prowess starts to gradually wane. I've lured her into a trap devised by my X-Brain. The true strength of Gijo Mitsumi lies in her ability to acutely predict her opponent's moves. She's constantly several steps ahead of her foe, and is able to adapt to any situation with a staggering level of precision and coordination. As for me, my strength comes in the form of my X-Brain aided decision-making skills. It's something I managed to fully tap into during that battle in the elevator hall. The reason I successfully overcame Ethica and her allies is because the walls on each side made complex evasive maneuvers possible. Furthermore, having multiple people involved in a battle made it difficult for them to predict my movements. But simply, in order for me to succeed, the fight needs to be sufficiently complex. In a battle like this, with bullets flying left and right, Mitsumi isn't able to devote all her attention to just me. My muzzle spikes deliver blow after blow to her body. Even if my bullets fail to penetrate her reinforced bodysuit, the physical impact of each strike is anything but insignificant. The more damage she takes, the slower her movements become. It's only a matter of time until I overwhelm her. My plan, however, is abruptly cut short by a wall of smokescreen. Having seemingly decided that it can no longer repel the attacks of multiple Grey Chameleons, the 8-arm Hi-Fi uses a smoke grenade. The entire area is blanketed in a white fog in a blink of an eye. An abrupt silence descends. Not wanting to waste bullets, each side has ceased fire. Mitsumi focuses all her attention on me. Her unfaltering blade is like a bolt of crimson lightning. I retaliate by firing my re-eliminators, but Mitsumi ducks out of the way and uses that momentum to charge at me from below. Immediately after I jump up to evade her attack, I realize that my X-Brain suggestion had displayed something different from what I just did. I fell into her trap. Mitsumi delivers an upward slash. With no means of evading the attack in the air, I make a desperate attempt to twist my body to the side. However, her blade sinks into the flesh of my left leg, leaving a wound deep enough to expose the bone. But that's all it is. A physical injury. For a living dead like myself, it's hardly anything to be concerned about, nor will it hinder my movements.
君は手加減をしたのか。僕を再殺できたはずだ。
Mitsumi's expression changes, but I don't quite understand why. I have trouble reading her. After a moment, she finally parts her lips to speak.
借りを返しただけだ。
仮。
旧お台場エリアでお主は私を殺さなかった。その借りだ。
She's right. I could have very easily finished her off. But I didn't. And I no longer have it in me to comprehend why.
長岡総雲。一つだけ聞かせろ。
Through the veil of smokescreen, I can see Mitsumi's silhouette point the tip of Soshimaru's blade, now stain a faint hue of red, straight at my neck.
お主は今感情を持っているか。
感情。わからない。感情とはどういうものなのか。僕は忘れてしまった。でも、崩御イリアのことを考えると、胸の奥がしんわりとする。それも、もうすぐ消えそうだ。
よかろう。
Mitsumi's solemn voice seems to tremble ever so slightly.
せめて、お主の最後は私が見とる。
Her blade descends on me in a flash of crimson steel. I managed to narrowly avoid it thanks to my X-Brain, but Mitsumi doesn't let up. I'm receiving alert after alert. Soon enough, my visions fill with a flood of icons. I used to be able to keep up with them, but I'm a living dead now. I'm not nearly as quick and responsive as I was in life. I managed to just barely stave off her attacks, but Mitsumi is not one to be outdone by half-hearted techniques. As I start to lose more and more ground, I mentally prepare myself for a re-elimination. If it's Mitsumi that finishes me off, I don't even mind dying.
長岡総雲。私はかつてお主に憧れていた。だが、今のお主の戦いは醜い。
Reverence. Pain. I fail to comprehend her words. They ring hollow in my ears. But she's probably stating the truth. I can still tell that much at least.
死ね、長岡。お主は死んだ方が幸福なのだ。
愛しているよ、ミツミ。
Is that something your ex-brain told you to do or some shit? What the fuck? The words that leave my lips aren't my own. It was Major General Kibanohara, wow, my master, that forced me to say them. But they've given me just enough of an opening to use my freshly printed specialty bullet. Man, you're fucked. I place it into the chamber like I've done so many times before, and pull the trigger. Man, Hokuyasu is a fucking asshole, dude. She utters my name while collapsing, but I don't know how to respond. The bullet I shot her with was filled with a custom-made opioid cocktail bullet. Oops. Let me see if I can get to that. No, it's not on the preview. I don't think it's also in the holographic cube. I think it's database, right? There we go. One of Nagaoka's own specialty bullets. An agonist that binds you to... What? To the micro 2 receptor? I actually don't know how to say that. Causing a swift, painless death. It contains an agonist with high affinity for micro 2 receptors that is micro 2, right? Or what the hell is that? Once injected into the body, causes the target to lose consciousness and die. Mitsumi will make for a useful ally once turned undead. As such, I was ordered to keep her physical injuries to a minimum. As the smoke screen clears, I see that the 8-legged hi-fi, having received the concentrated fire of the Grey Chameleons, has completely ceased to function. Guess we're fighting Kazuma now. After leaving Mitsumi on the first floor, Olga and I ride the elevator toward the top. I don't answer her. The X-Brain is a machine used to expand one's subconscious. Knowing that even a split second's worth of hesitation can mean the difference between life and death on the battlefield, it automatically omits superfluous information and presents the user with only the data they require to triumph in combat. In short, it's our one trump card in the fight against the living dead. It's also the logical solution to the problem of the continuous information warfare that unfolded in the South. Forged in the fires of the Sino-American War, it serves as the tangible legacy of the CQAMA training unit, and the fruit of Kibanohara Hokuyasu's research. If possible, I'd rather not rely on this thing. But I can't help but wonder how things would have changed had I used it. Would I have stayed behind to help Mitsumin? Or...
後悔が生死を分ける。可能性は可能性でしかない。選ぶことのできた現実は唯一無二。後悔へと割り当てるリソースを自分の未来へ割り当てろ。
Hey, I agree with that.
今のあなたを見てると、木場野原鉾安の言葉は正しいわね。
What do you mean? I've never liked using my X-Brain. But as much as I hate to admit it, it does have its uses. Hell, it saved my skin more than once. That's a fact. And yet, I just can't trust it.
義城光美がなぜ軍警察にいいように使われていたか知ってる？過去に縛られていたのよ。過去？そう。兄の義城純彦を軍警察から人質に取られていた。
I see.
だから私が殺した。
何を言ってるの？
The military police had held Sumihiko hostage? So Olga killed him?
私は長い時間を生きてきたわ。過去に縛られるのは嫌だから決着をつけに来たの。
ロードシャッハー、あんた。
時間よ。
Wait, I don't get it. Explain! What the hell? The elevator begins to slow down. We reach the 32nd floor, which will allow us to get to the top. Holding back the urge to question Olga further, I rush out of the elevator. Our little welcoming committee is a group of military police officers. They immediately start firing, not giving us much of a chance to comply with their orders. Fine by me. No mercy, assholes. The shells of my AA-24 hit them clean in the head, painting the low-ceiling corridor dusky red with their blood. Letting Olga cover my 6, I break into a sprint and dash down the corridor. My goal is the elevator in the back, the one that goes all the way up to the 50th floor. The building is made up of north and a south tower. My old man should be in the former. A bunch of fresh guards rush out of the nearby room, but I blow them away the moment I see them. Piss off, you undead freaks. Honestly, I'm racking up a pretty handsome body count here. They have yet to start decomposing, but their emotions and personalities will never return. There's no need to show mercy when re-eliminating the...
どうしたの？
エチカ、悪い。
Kazuma's gun is aimed straight at me, which means that she's already dead. It would have been naive of me to think she survived, but as I continue to hesitate, a blade soars through the air, interrupting my thoughts. It aims for Kazuma's hands and sliced off the fingers glued to her gun's trigger in a spray of dusky red blood.
エチカ！
Shit! This isn't the time to be getting cold feet. Having run out of ammo, I aim for the neck with my bayonet. Kazuma's decapitated body falls limp onto the ground. Meanwhile, her severed head rolls down the corridor before the wall ultimately stops in its place. Stops it in place. I'm sorry, Kazuma. A living dead's severed head is capable of functioning even without its body. The lemurs will keep it that way until it completely rots away.
何をしてるの？さっさと上に。
I pay close attention to the movements of Kazuma's lips. She's trying to tell me something. She can't make any sounds, but manages to silently mouth a brief phrase. Area 3015. Her eyes point toward the corridor leading to the hospital.
あそこにイリアちゃんがいるのね。
Kazuma closes her eyes in place of a nod. She retains just enough of her former humanity to ask for help. And just like that, whatever lingering doubts I still had in me are immediately dissolved. I discard my empty shotgun and reach for Rabbit Punch. Kazuma too looks like she's ready for what's to come. It's the least I can do for her. But it doesn't make it hurt any less. Still, no time to wallow in sentimentality. Not now. I'm gonna find the bastard that did this to Kazuma and make him pay. That's a promise.
罠かもしれないわ。わかってる。
Necromancers are like puppet masters to their undead minions. I can't discount the possibility that Kazuma's final hint might be a trap laid by my old man.
でもこいつ根は悪くないやつだったからさ。最後に伝えてくれた言葉を無視するわけにはいかねえんだわ。付き合わないわよ。お好きに。
Olga makes for the elevator that will take her up to the top floor. Fine by me too. We're not really friends. You're just the enemy of my enemy. Without sparing her as much as a parting look, I slice some undead guards to pieces with my trusty old rabbit punch and continue down the blood-soaked corridor. Up until now, Olga and I just happen to share the same objective. I'm not naive enough to think I can force her to help me with this. Here we are. Room 3015 of the military police hospital. The place Kazuma told me about. I destroyed the lock with my chainsaw, then forced my way in. I find myself in a somewhat unusual room. The entire place is decorated like some fancy European mansion, making it hard to believe I'm still inside the military police HQ. Even the height of the ceiling has changed, which makes me realize this is probably just a hologram. A damn fine one though, I'll give it that. The only person who could have made this...
イリアちゃん？
エチカ。
The lone girl sitting hunched over the desk is none other than Azaikyousuke. She flies into my arms. I don't even need to check if she's still human or not. If it turns out that a necromancer's making her act this way, then I'll gladly admit defeat.
助けに来てくれたの？
連絡くれたでしょ。
エチカ、キリリを助けて。早くしないと。
キリ姉は生きてるのね。
多分。さっき保護安の部屋に入るのは確認した。
She inputs something with a multi-flick. What shows up on the screen is the military police HQ's central control system?
イリアちゃん、これって。
アユカのおかげ。彼女、機械には強いから。
Iria has essentially been held captive here, without the means of really contact the outside. I was wondering how she managed to even get in touch with us in the first place. But if Azaikyousuke, the android I briefly talked to at the Snowbound Nirvana, had her back, well, that puts things in a new perspective. Wait.
ねえ、イリアちゃん。この建物のシステムをダウンさせること、できる？
できるよ。
Iria makes an enthusiastic nod, almost as if she's been waiting for me to ask that. I guess Azaikyousuke wants us to stop the old man, huh? That's probably her last wish or something. The door is open with a chime when the elevator reaches the hall. Just as I'm about to board it, the room goes dark. I take a look around and notice that the elevator hall wasn't the only place affected. Every light in the building, save for the emergency lamps, has gone out. Needless to say, the elevator has also shut down. Its doors remain wide open and won't respond no matter how many times I press the relevant buttons. The Major General's orders were clear. I must eliminate Ethica as soon as possible. I cannot afford to wait for the electricity to return. The military police HQ consists of a total of 50 floors. The living dead may feel no fatigue, but they're not physically faster than someone who's still alive. In other words, I must find a more time-efficient way of getting to the top floor. Emergency elevator? I step into the unmoving elevator. Ah, she's gonna climb it. After breaking through the ceiling of the elevator car, I climb out onto the shaft. With no nearby emergency lights to illuminate my surroundings, I find myself wrapped in almost complete darkness. Nonetheless, my X-Brain's ultra-high sensitivity camera allows me to just barely make out what's around me. I take a firm hold of the elevator wire with one hand. Meanwhile, my other hand aims a real illuminator at the joint connecting the wire with the cab. A series of muzzle flashes illuminate the dark of the shaft. The wire itself is fairly sturdy. After all, the elevator is designed to support the weight of all kinds of people, including ones with cybernetic implants. It's still no match for my armor-piercing rounds, though. It's gradually worn down by my continued shots and eventually snaps, unable to support the weight of the elevator any longer. Okay, so he holds one of the, ropes holding onto it and then cuts the rope. Pretty smart. The counterweight located far up in the shaft comes falling down, causing my body to get propelled toward the top. I nearly hit the wall several times as the wire sways, but I steady myself with a few light kicks. It's a danger I calculated for in advance. I am an instrument that must faithfully carry out its given objective, and my current mission is to kill Kibanohara Ethica. Sentimentality would only get in the way of that. Still, I can't help but think back to what the Major General told us back in his office. It sends a ripple through the stagnant lake of my emotions. He called Kibanohara Ethica the single greatest sin he had ever committed, and revealed the truth about her birth. And yet, in order to become the perfect machine, I must weed out all intrusive desires from my mind, including that. Damn it, just tell me, Son! What the fuck did he tell, Kiriri? Olga arrives at the topmost floor of the building. As she steps out of the elevator, she is immediately set upon by an undead guard leaking dusky red blood from a wound in his leg. She grabs him by the head and thrusts her thermokarambit into his eye socket, destroying his brain. Having slept with countless people during her many years as a prostitute, Olga is intimately familiar with human anatomy. Knowing the perfect timing and angle to best reach a person's vitals has become second nature to her. She opens the door in the back of the hall. And steps into the office located at the topmost floor of the building. Looking to the side, she notices a bound Asakiriri lying on the floor. Her gaze seems somewhat hollow, but Olga has no time to contemplate why. There are more pressing matters at hand. The man she came here for has his back turned to her. He casually gazes out the window, admiring the nighttime Tokyo scenery. Kibanohara Hokuyasu.
ロールシャッハか。
娘さんじゃなくてごめんなさいね。
構わない。
As Hokuyasu stands up, Olga notices that he's wielding two re-eliminators, the twin symbols of the CQAMA training unit.
お前にはリビングデッド吸収の主導者となってもらう。
ええ。実際これから主導するつもりよ。
Olga lifts her seething hot caramid knife. Hokuyasu dons the X-Brain that's been sitting on his desk. It's been a while since she's seen him like this. Olga lunges straight at Hokuyasu. Her caramid knife clashes with his muzzle spikes, sending bright sparks across the room. The two are right up in each other's faces. A mere arm's length away from piercing their opponent's heart, in fact. Olga and Hokuyasu are both very much aware that in order to deliver a fatal blow, they have to get this close. Olga's movements are quick and fluid, like those of a mollusk. Aren't mollusks supposed to be slow though? I don't know. Meanwhile, Hokuyasu wields his muzzle spikes with keen efficiency, exerting only as much effort as absolutely necessary. It's a constant back and forth between these two. Olga's relentless blows aim for her opponent's vitals with surgical precision, yet Hokuyasu successfully evades each and every one. With no other options left, she attempts to grab him in a hold, only to receive a fierce counter in return. Hokuyasu's X-Brain still retains its past records of Roshar's... God damn it! Olga's combat style from the time the two fought in Malaysia. I think that's actually the first time I fucked up. Not saying her name is Olga. Suffering is happiness. For someone like her, who was forced to spend countless years suppressing her emotions, even negative feelings hold meaning.
鈍っていないみたいね。でも、肉体は衰える。
Olga inhales a lungful of air, filling herself with fresh oxygen. Her unaging body, coupled with a near limitless supply of stamina, are her greatest weapons in combat. I do wonder how the hell he made the X-Brain. Did he like dissect a human brain or some shit? Knowing no fatigue, Olga continues to aim for Hokuyasu's vitals. Her young muscles work at full capacity. Olga fails to evade Hokuyasu's powerful hook. His muzzle spikes crash into her knees. The impact of the blow slows Olga down, giving Hokuyasu enough of an opening to follow up his punch with several others.
確かに肉体は衰えるだろう。だが経験は蓄積され失われない。
X-Brains are capable of storing a nigh unlimited amount of data in a holographic cube. The more one uses one, the more effective it will become.
私はただサジェストを出力する道具であればいい。
つまらない男ね。
Well, you're similar to Son in that regard. Spitting a mouthful of blood and saliva to the floor, Olga once again assumes a combat stance with karambit in hand.
ネクロマンサーの最も重要な資質は感情。あなたが独学でここまでネクロマンシーを使いこなせたならば相当なものよ。どうしてその感情を押し殺すの？
泣きたい時に泣く。笑いたい時に笑う。それが感情表現だと。
It's not?
違うな。それは獣だ。
Okuyasu's ex-brain has finished estimating how much of a threat Olga possesses. Poses. There you go. Now he's going on the offensive. There's not an ounce of glamour in his boxing-inspired technique. If anything, his movements are by the book, to the point of being unremarkable. They're hardly comparable to the sheer artistry that Nagaka Son brought to the battlefield with his graceful mastery of CQAMA. But artistry relies on talent, and cannot be easily imitated. What is the most efficient way to prevent an enemy's counterattack? What is the safest method of killing an opponent? Close quarters armed martial arts is the crystallized culmination of those goals, the end result of taking that mentality to its logical extreme. And Kibanohara Hokuyasu is the former commander of the CQAMA training unit. Wielding her karambit in a reverse grip, Olga goes for Hokuyasu's flank, but ends up getting hit clean in the head by an absolute juggernaut of a counterpunch. No matter how much one's skull has been artificially reinforced, it cannot completely absorb oscillations. Hokuyasu's attack sends Olga tumbling to the ground. Almost. Hokuyasu points a real limiter at Olga's head. His expression is hidden behind the X-brain. She takes a gamble nonetheless. That symbol, it looks like the symbol that Son was shown during his X-brain thing.
愛に狂った男は哀れね。
Hokuyasu is taken aback. It lasts only for a moment. But Olga is not one to let that brief opening slip by, and immediately hurls her karambit knife at him. The red-hot blade grazes Hokuyasu's abdomen. But that's all that happens. You know, I think the beginning opening of the game was actually someone that Hokuyasu likes, wasn't it? We still don't know who the hell it was, though. I'm guessing it might be Soen's mom. That's why, like, you know, she's taken, right? But I guess she's dead and he resurrects her or something? I'm not sure. The thermal karambit flies past him, falling to the ground with a clink. Hokuyasu's words are laced with just a touch more emotion than before.
貴様はミルグラムを愛していたのか。
どうかしら。
だがミルグラムは死ぬために生きていた男だ。いくら深い愛を注いでもミルグラムはそれに応えない。違うかね。
I mean, I guess you don't really need love to be reciprocated, right?
カウンセラーにでもなったら。
What the fuck? Hokuyasu's finger tightens on the trigger of his real eliminator.
私は最愛の人を亡くした。私は生きている限りその事実を忘れない。もう二度と微笑むこともないのだ。
これで OK。 システムダウン。
ありがとう、イリアちゃん。
With the power out, the holographic projection that made everything look like the interior of a Western mansion has also been disabled. The place is now back to being the same old hospital room it's always been. In any case, they should deactivate the security bots and help slow down Son as well. The real question is how I'm gonna get everyone to safety. The fact that Irie isn't harmed probably means my old man has no intention of actually doing anything to her. And now that the security bots are out, we could take the stairs and escape that way. But is there time? I briefly contemplate if I should let my ex-brain decide.
大丈夫。ここで待ってる。
Iria speaks up, having no doubt sense my inner turmoil.
自分の身くらいは自分で守れるよ。
オッケー。すぐに戻ってくるからね。
でも一つだけキリリの他にもまだ生きてる人がいるの。
Ooh. To be honest, I wasn't sure if I'd do it. I mean, I came here to rescue Kiri, and to kick my old man's ass. I'm not some kind of one-woman charity organization. But the hostage Irio was talking about could be of great help to us when rebuilding Tokyo. Saving her is something pretty much everyone will benefit from, all things considered. Oh, Sophia. Most importantly though, I'm sure it'll make Kiri happy too. Or rather, if she found out I didn't save her, she'd probably be really disappointed in me. And I don't want that. Thankfully, the room I'm looking for is right below me. Gripping my chainsaw, I descend the stairs and hurry down a dark corridor. In the dim light of the emergency lamps, I swiftly mow down the undead guard that tries to stop me and continue toward my destination.
すみません。ソフィア様。すみません。
Are you still like doing things to her, Yamanuma? As I step into the room, what I see in there makes my body react before my mind can even catch up. My chainsaw flashes in the dark and severs Yamanuma's head from his body. Sophia Kawarazaki remains unresponsive even as the decapitated head of the man who's been raping her falls to the ground, mouthing hollow apologies. It looks like she doesn't even comprehend what just happened. They must have put her through some intense torture to undo her mental protections.
大丈夫、ソフィア。
お前は確か。
説明してる暇はない。逃げるよ。
As I let the staggering Sophia lean onto me, she speaks up again.
木場の原鉾安に発電所の管理権限を奪われた。
He who controls the central geothermal power plant controls Tokyo. Realizing what the old man is planning brings my blood to a boil. But right now, I gotta focus on getting Sophia out of here.
頼む。悪用を阻止してくれ。
わかった。だから脱出を。
As I pick up Sophia's discarded clothes and cover her with them, I spot a familiar-looking black box in the corner of my vision. It's an STTW, short for Sense Through the Wall. I push Sophia away, jumping back myself. Immediately afterward, the floor where we were standing gets blown open, sending bits of concrete flying through the room. A sniper shot from the floor below. Has to be Tokitaka. Wow, so this guy is the one that, you know, brought back Tokitaka. Jesus, Hokoyasu is such an asshole. The bullet of his anti-material rifle that tore through the floor was no doubt aiming for me. I take a look around and notice a black STTW box in each corner of the room. Sophia was merely bait to lure me in here. I throw a quick glance in her direction to check if she's alright, then make for the exit. It's me Tokitaka's after, not her. Do I just destroy the black boxes? Easier said than done. This trap was set up in advance, and if the boxes are hidden with camouflage material, finding them all is going to be difficult. There's also no guarantee these boxes are all real, or that they're the only ones around. As I waste time contemplating what to do, Tokitaka's bullets continue to pierce through the floor, spraying bits of debris everywhere. I do my best to move as unpredictably as possible while evading his shots. The complex network of building materials and pipes running in the walls seem to be having an adverse effect on Tokitaka's calculations. As a result, I managed to make it out of the room in one piece, albeit just barely. The hallway doesn't prove any safer though. I didn't even realize it earlier, but there are actually multiple SCTW boxes laid out on the floor. Maybe I would have noticed them if I had my X-Brain switched on. I start running down the hallway, trying to ignore that brief tinge of regret. The shots, along with the pieces of flying debris, continue to follow me. Tokitaka is clearly on my tail. I need to go down a floor to engage him, but the entrance to the stairway is frustratingly far away. Actually, there's probably more to it than that. I'm willing to bet Tokitaka has something prepared for me in the stairwell too. The guy is a strategic genius after all. If I keep going like this, I'm gonna be playing right into his hands. And let me tell you, I have no intention of letting that dumbass get the better of me here. About halfway down the corridor leading to the staircase, I suddenly perform a quick backstep. Tokitaka was convinced that I would keep running forward, as evidenced by the rifle shots piercing to the floor ahead of me. This is my chance. I gotta make it count. My trusty rabbit punch has what I like to call an overheat mode. It makes the engine work at full blast, but necessitates some maintenance afterwards. But since I need rabbit punch in order to do my job, I keep a backup chainsaw for when the other one is out for repairs. I knew the military police building would be crawling with the living dead, which is why I came fully prepared. What the? Double? That's right, dual chainsaws, baby! I thrust both chainsaw blades into the ground and spin around in a half circle, cutting open a hole that lets me fall down onto the floor below. Now that's what I call a shortcut. As I spin around, Tokitaka's already waiting for me. He wields his Ogasawara TFD-20 like a Naginata. No one else can pull that off quite like him. But the Tokitaka behind that X-Brain helmet is no longer the same guy I used to know. He's a living dead now. I swing at him with Rabbit Punch, but Tokitaka skillfully pins the blade down with his anti-material rifle. That thing really is just like a Naginata. Making good use of his weapon's long reach to get the upper hand is one of Tokitaka's hidden talents. Luckily, I happen to be an expert when it comes to close quarters combat. And dual-wielding chainsaws is my hidden talent. It's something not even his X-Brain should be aware of. Meaning, as long as we keep this a quick one-on-one duel, I've got a clear advantage over him. Should have known. I cleave through the undead guards with my twin chainsaws, causing their extremities, arms, legs, fingers, to go flying through the air. Damn it! I can't keep up with him though. A vital skill in any sniper's arsenal is their ability to secure an escape route, and Tokitaka's always been quick on his feet. He doesn't oblige me. Instead, I find myself staring down the barrel of his Ogasawara TFD-20. Tokitaka holds the rifle out with one hand and fires back at me, while still continuing to run forward. Your average shooter would never hit a target like that, but this is Tokitaka we're talking about, and he's wearing an X-Brain to boot. The reticle of his wired bodysuit automatically corrects his aim, allowing him to home in on me with expert accuracy even while running. I swear, those stupid X-Brains are like cheat machines, dude. I give one of the ghouls a fierce kick, sending him flying. A moment later, I see his chest get gripped open by Tokitaka's bullet, followed by a spray of dusky red blood. The impact of the shot causes the bullet's trajectory to shift, allowing me to evade it by a hair's breadth. I'm not gonna get that lucky twice though. Upon reaching the end of the hallway, Tokitaka fixes his aim at me. He's way off in the distance. I've got two options here: hide or advance. Relying on pure instinct, I sprint down the straight hallway with all my strength. One of the ghouls reaches for me, but I slice her arm clean off. Then jump over the other one that's trying to block my path. I keep on pressing onward, blowing away whoever gets in my way. I'm more than familiar with Tokitaka's skills. I also know that my X-Brain would never display a suggestion like this, but I keep going nonetheless. This makes no logical sense. I'm acting completely rationally, but my instincts are telling me to go. And obeying my instincts is what I've always done. It's who I am. The arm I could have sworn I've lopped off is still hanging from the female ghoul's side, connected only by a thin layer of skin. She latches onto my leg, briefly upsetting my balance. Shit, this could be bad. More and more living dead throw themselves at me. I continue shaking them off, but it's checkmate. There's no way Tokitaka would miss his mark in these conditions. I mean, I used to fight by his side. I know all too well what he's capable of. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that he's pretty much won the battle. However, my intuition's telling me it's not my time to die just yet. Don't blue ball me, tell me what happened. With his entire body horribly mangled by bullets, Tokitaka lies on the floor in a dusky red pool of his own blood. Pieces of his X-Brain lie scattered around him, alongside fragments of his shattered skull and chunks of brain matter. His beloved Ogasawara TFD-20, a gun more important to Tokitaka than his own life, has remained largely unscathed. It feels strangely fitting. MF-399 waves at me through the broken window as Tokyo's harsh winds blow into the building. I guess that's Sue? I notice a 30mm quad-mount autocannon, no doubt taken from the agency's Strider, attached to its back.
Thank you, Sue-chan.
Another reason I had the whole building system shut down was to disable the armed pipe runners preventing her from getting close from the outside. Guess the plan worked out as intended.
奥のソフィアと上の階のイリアちゃん、回収して。
了解。状況は把握してる。
The pipe runner operated by Sue swiftly makes its way along the outer walls. Being outside the building means they'll be able to escape without running into any living dead. I briefly catch my breath before taking a good look at the corpse lying on the floor. Ichihara Tokitaka. He was one hell of an oddball. Ever since he was a kid, he both revered and detested Ikatsu, and he never tried to hide it. In that sense, I was actually a little envious of him. He just wasn't the same after the Megafloat incident, though. I almost got the impression that he wished he had sunk into the bottom of the ocean along with that city. But the reason I'm here right now is because of him. Because he saved me. One need not show mercy when re-eliminating the dead. All I can do is hope that his soul finds peace. As for me, I'm gonna find the bastard that did this to Tokitaka and make him pay. That's a promise. Yeah, I can't wait to fuck up like Hokoyasu too, man. He deserves a beating, alright. In the darkness of the room, Tokyo's glimmering scenery is all the more visible. The aircraft obstruction lights installed in the hot pipes, the headlights of taxis passing through the city like ants, the street lamps whose brightness shifts in accordance with the heat. The cold, white snow falls upon them equally. The heat being supplied to the hot pipes must have been affected by the system shutdown. As a result, the snow reaches all the way here without melting. The city is a blur of twinkling lights. Would I be moved by the scenery were I still alive? A set of familiar footsteps ring out in the silence. I've been waiting for them.
So,
エチカ、
ミツミンは
僕が殺した。
Etika holds out a rabbit punch in each hand. How unusual.
ロードシャッハもお前がやったのか。
木場野原少将だ。
Her expression shifts.
キリネーはどこだ。
上にいる。
通してもらう。
それはできない。
親父の命令か。
そうだ。
I tell her the truth. I was not forbidden from doing so.
僕は君を殺すように命じられている。
オーケー。だったら相手になるよ。おとなしく私に再殺されな。
Etika lunges at me with clear hostility in her eyes. Her two chainsaws roar like beasts. I await her with my twin rear eliminators in hand. My body follows my ex-brain's instructions, narrowly evading her swings. Though it may be a one-handed weapon, the rabbit punch is not light. It's not just an ordinary piece of metal either, but a constantly rotating chainsaw blade, requiring utmost skill and precision from the wielder. Etika likely trained herself to use two of them at once in secret just in case. Her fighting style appears to be a modified form of CQAMA. Knowing that doesn't help much, it's the very definition of unorthodox. No ordinary person could wield two chainsaws at the same time like she does. Alert after alert keeps popping up. I know that unless I obey them without the slightest bit of delay, Etika will swiftly re-eliminate me. However, I'm a living dead now. With my emotions gone, there's nothing holding me back anymore. I'll not let my guard down. Nothing can affect me now. Not Ethica's hollow taunts, nor the howling of her chainsaws. She too should be aware of that. Yet she continues to do all these unnecessary things. Ethica would often act irrationally and take actions that aren't rooted in logic. She'd outright ignore suggestions from her ex-brain, intentionally go against its alerts, or refuse to even switch it on at all. Granted, she still managed to survive all her battles. But I can't help but think she would have had a much easier time against her enemies if she had stopped being so stubborn and relied on her ex-brain. As for me, I've placed my complete trust in it. I've always yearned to become a machine that exists only to convert input into output. And right now, that's exactly what I am. The ex-brain tells me to punch, so I punch. It tells me to dodge, I dodge. It tells me to shoot, I shoot. My reactions have notably slowed compared to when I was still alive. But since my mind isn't clouded by obstructive thoughts, it doesn't affect my overall combat efficiency. Using the brief faltering in her movements to fire several consecutive shots, I inflict some damage to Ethica through her bulletproof coat. As the raw impact of the attack makes her flinch. I lunge forward like a swift wave and connect a fierce punch from my muzzle spike. Ethica may be a wellspring of stamina, but at the end of the day, she's still only human. What's more, she's already been through several other battles before reaching me. The longer a fight is prolonged, the bigger my advantage will become. This is the music when we were fighting Milgram, wasn't it? So why won't she switch on her ex-brain? It makes no logical sense. As I obey a suggestion and activate my MPP, I begin to think. This battle is likely nearing its conclusion. And yet, for some reason, I don't want it to end. Why is that? Damn, I'm getting my ass whooped. But that's Nagaoka-san for you, I guess. He's good. Real good. At this rate, he's gonna completely overwhelm me. Should I cave and turn on my ex-brain? Hell no. There's no way I'm gonna beg the old man for help. It's just not happening. I'm not asking for much. If I could slice into his arms or legs and slow him down, it'd be enough to turn the tide in my favor. I think that's a lot though, Ethica. But this guy is completely unfazed by everything I do. He keeps on deflecting my swings like it's nothing, then executes his counterattacks with calculated, mechanical precision. His strikes are efficient. His defense is on point. He's not giving me a single opening. He's always wanted to become a machine that converts his ex-brain's input into output. Well, from the looks of it, his dream has come true. He feels no hesitation, no fatigue, throwing punch after punch. He moves almost like a tireless robot on an automated assembly line. It's exactly what he wanted. Guess I should be happy for him, right? Yeah, no. Fuck that. The day Kiri left to move into the military police's dormitory, I ran away from home. I couldn't stand the thought of having to live under the same roof as my old man without her around. I wandered the streets with no money, no food, and only the clothes on my back to call my own. It was Kara Suzumi Ikatsu who eventually found me and took me in. When I first met Son and Tokitaka at the Kara Suzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency, they'd already been rigorously trained in the ways of CQAMA. They both pretty much stayed the same over the following years, but Son in particular seemed almost completely immune to change. Hell, the first time I met him, I thought he was some kind of robot. I even wondered if he had any emotions at all. He straight up acted like one of the living dead, you know? But as we spent time living together, I figured him out. It's not that he has no emotions at all. Deep down, he feels sadness and pain like anyone else. It's It's just that the wires of his heart, so to speak, aren't all plugged in. He can't properly express his emotions. I've often wondered why he ended up like that. I mean, he's the son of Nagaoka Takeyuki, the legendary close-quarters arm martial artist. From time to time, Ikatsu would tell us stories about Takeyuki after we'd finished training for the day. Apparently, he was no match for the guy, but he always had a grin on his face when reminiscing about how he used to kick his ass. Even my old man could never shut up about how graceful and artistic his style of CQAMA was. It really makes me wonder how Son felt about his father, and why he uses CQAMA to fight. Why?
どうして X ブレインを使わない
Son knocks one of my chainsaws out of my hand. Truth be told though, his words hurt me more than his kick did.
汚ねえって使うんじゃねえよ。親父が言わせてんだろ。
僕の意志だ
Yeah, right.
君はお父さんは嫌いなのか
His twin re-eliminators are the tangible legacy of the CQAMA training unit.
イラつくんだよ。
I leap backwards and collect the rabbit punch I just dropped. I'm never gonna use a re-eliminator. These chainsaws are proof that I'm done with my past self, that I've cut myself free from the old man. My moves are probably sloppy as all hell. I'm tired and worn down. From an ex-brain's perspective, I'm probably a complete mess, irrational as all get out. That's a very interesting choice of words. I don't know if that was actually a real sentence, but I believe in myself. And I know there's more to all this than just blindly converting input into output like a certain dumbass has been doing. The desire to protect another person, and the knowledge that you're fighting for someone, no amount of calculations can replicate that. I'm sure Son was starting to figure that out as well. Which is why I'm so goddamn pissed off right now.
私はお前を殺す。感情をなくしてしまう前にイリアちゃんに頼まれたんだよ。
Man, his back and forths though. Iria. I felt the beat of my heart just then. I'm a living dead though. I should no longer be able to experience such things. And yet, I could feel something stir in my chest. Iria. 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 As I keep repeating that name, I find myself overcome by a peculiar sensation. It's like something warm is gradually spreading throughout my chest. I can only assume I'm experiencing an emotion of some kind. But it's one I've already forgotten. What was it called again? Ethica lands a strike on my elbow, sending a spray of dusky red blood across the floor. It was a straightforward attack, no fancy tricks. But it was too fast for my ex-brain to keep up with. Could it have been a result of her emotions? Do feelings allow people to tap into an inner strength that can surpass even the calmest, most rational of calculations? Who knows? Who knows, Son? What are feelings exactly? The living dead are known to gradually lose their emotions as time passes. However, science has yet to fully explain exactly why that occurs. One thing is for certain though, as the feelings of the living dead begin to deteriorate, so does their overall efficiency in combat. A constant fear of dying can easily spell one's doom on the battlefield. At the same time though, being excessively numb to the concept of death may conversely lead to re-elimination. I continue dodging Ethica swings. If anything, the battle is going in my favor. My body moves without the need for me to think. My feelings can't stop it. nor can I ignore the orders of my master. The X-Brain tells me to punch, so I punch. It tells me to dodge, I dodge. It tells me to shoot, I shoot. Each suggestion must be translated to a corresponding action, then promptly executed. This is the core concept behind close quarters armed martial arts. The highly advanced combat style devised by Kibanohara Hokuyasu himself, and a deadly craft once wielded by my own father. My technique is probably far removed from any concept of artistry. There's virtually nothing I would wish to express either. If I were to name the one thing still left to me, it would have to be Iria. More specifically, the rapidly dissolving feelings I still harbor for her. I muster up all my remaining mental capacities to remember her name, her looks, her voice, her smile, everything that makes her who she is. Abiding by my X-Brain's instructions, I proceed to open fire. Yet even as my bullets drill into her body, Ethica refuses to surrender. She's fighting to save the person she loves. Love. That's it. I finally managed to put a word to the emotion that surged through my dying heart as she uttered Iria's name. I've already died, but perhaps I still have some lingering emotions left. Maybe a small part of me is still alive. If a tiny fragment of my humanity does indeed remain, and if this feeling I experience upon uttering Iria's name is genuine, then I want to be worthy of her love.
僕を殺してくれ。
My body automatically responds to the displayed alert, allowing me to narrowly evade Ethica's incoming rabbit punch. I'm about to holster the gun in my left hand, take out the opiate bullet produced by the MPP, and feed it directly into the chamber. But I can't do it. I'm unable to output the necessary actions. My real eliminator, along with the hand holding it, flies up into the air. I gaze at my own left hand. My body followed the X-Brain's alert as precisely as it could, which should have allowed me to escape Ethica's chainsaw unscathed. And yet, her blade still ended up cleaving my flesh. As my body's physical deterioration advanced this much, as the speed of my reactions grown this much slower, I'm given no time to contemplate as Ethica lunges at me without a moment's delay. Obeying the on-screen alert, I attempt to back off to get some breathing space from her relentless assault, but I can't do it. My left leg has also been sliced off. Once her prey is in sight, Ethica is not the one to let it get away. She uses her left hand to prevent any counterattacks while the rabbit punch in her right goes straight for my chest. A geyser of blood gushes forth as her blade sinks into my torso. She finally cuts off my right hand as well. My X-Brain didn't provide any new suggestions, nor did my master issue any further commands. She pushes the chainsaw into me until it comes out through my back, pinning me to the ground. Ethica then slowly reaches toward me. And carefully removes my X-Brain, exposing my face. Tokyo's nighttime scenery glimmers before my naked eyes. And then, it finally dawns on me. My X-Brain, my trustworthy ally through thick and thin, has successfully granted my wish. As a living dead, I can no longer disobey any order from my master. But my X-Brain has remained unaffected by the lemurs injected into me. And it remembered my love. which is why it intentionally displayed an incorrect alert, and thus fulfilled that fated wish hidden within the depths of my soul. It all makes sense. It doesn't! But I guess it does to you, so...
イリアは
パイプランナーが安全なところに運んだ。
よかった。
Ethica holds a rabbit punch aloft, letting its engine roar to life. It's time to say goodbye.
安心して眠れ。
Getting re-eliminated by Ethica might just be a fitting end for me. It reminds me of what Major General Kibanohara told Major Aso. Our meeting must have indeed been preordained by fate.
ありがとう、エチカ。
What, did he kill, you know, like, Takeyuki's, wife?
でも、最後に伝えることがある。
なんだ、そう。
君は、僕の。
Huh? No! Why would you do this? Why would you do that? You're my what? Oh my god! This game! Why would you do that? Why? Oh, I gotta end the episode right here though. Oh my god. This game really sucks at giving you cliffhangers. It sucks. I would definitely highly make you guys like just buy this game yourself, man. Because if you guys are actually waiting for me to do these episodes, you guys are killing yourselves. Unless you sub to the Patreon. What the fuck was that? I have to end this here. I'm actually pretty hungry, so I'm gonna get a quick dinner before I get back right now. God. I'm still coming back though. I know for a fact that we're probably at least gonna need 1 or 2 more episodes before we finish the conclusion of this route, I think. I'm not gonna say I'm finishing like again in this single recording session. I learned my lesson from the last time I tried to do that. I put multiple 3-hour videos because of that. And to me, like I said, it felt like I was rushing the game somewhat. Because this game has a shit ton of text, right? I'd prefer to actually stop with my, you know, typical 1 hour and 30-minute sessions. But yeah, with that, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this a like if you like being cuckolded by this cliffhanger. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access. Along with everything uncensored, even though there's nothing really uncensored so far. I think this game really is not really that fan service heavy. Maybe in the beginning, but... And also maybe at the end, because Ethica still hasn't done stuff with Kiri yet. I assume there's gonna be some scenes with Kiri. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna be taking a short break. And I will be with you momentarily. Or I guess not momentarily for you guys on YouTube. I'll see you guys on the next episode.